Do you have a garden? You should have one. Let me show you ours. We have here a wonderful garden outside, and we're just so amazed about what you can do in a garden, what you can harvest, what a blessing it is to work in it. And we want to share that with you. This year, this spring, we started up. Now we are working here the second or third year we have now the garden. The first year was really little. Second year we tried to have it as big as we can, and this year we try now to get that same material again in what we had last year and try to improve, make it better. And we show you the tricks, we show you what we use, how we prepare this spring. Before we start behind the house in our garden area, we want to go to the front yard of our house, and that's where we try to make things nice, make things usable, and just try to design a little bit as we can here. We have some things to consider here. We have chickens and we have them often loose, so that makes it hard for a nice front yard. So we're thinking to have in the front of our house a nice area with flowers and bushes. So we got these bushes here from town a little bit ago, and we put them here, we plant them here in the arrangement and try to have, we're thinking about mulch, but mulch doesn't work. Any kind of wood chips or little pea-sized gravel, it just doesn't work good with chickens. They scratch it all out, they mess it up, so we try to go with a rock garden in front of the house. And this other plant we got here, that's a Wisteria falls, names this plant. That's a plant that is a vine. It grows up on a structure, so we built this structure here to have it growing up on it and built like a tree looking, but it's not really a tree, it's a vine. And it will have these nice hanging flowers. I hope we can show you in the future a little more about that. We have no experience with that. We just dropped it here in the ground and see how it goes. And now added to this, we try to have some fruits. So we tried with some grapes. We don't know how good they do here in Missouri, but we try with figs and with persimmons. Persimmons are supposed to do really good here. They are locally growing in the forest, sometimes wild. And we actually have lots of persimmon trees started on our property already that are naturally just there, wild, coming up. I don't mow them down, I mow around and we'll graft onto them the special kinds we have. We have 3 of them already planted that are special ones, grafted ones, with big fruits, not just the little fruits from nature, so we try to use them to graft onto the wild ones that have the good root system, are native to this area. Then we will put the special ones on top. Okay, let's go behind the house in our garden area. And here we start with our raised beds. We just planted a few flowers here, what you're seeing what I'm doing right there. But behind, the other 3 raised beds have lettuce planted already, and put some onions in there too to give a variety, and have some Swiss chard and kale and all kinds of different plants that we try to harvest this early spring, as our springtime food is mainly lettuce and greens that we get from our garden, what we really enjoy. If you try to consider to have raised beds or no raised beds, we really enjoy both of it. We enjoy to have big garden areas without raised beds for lots of things that spread like vines. We also like it for tomatoes and potatoes and all kinds of things that we plant big amounts. But we definitely like raised beds for spring and fall crops or even winter crops, because we can take care of them better and we can water more precise and we have nice pathways between. It's somehow so much easier to take care of it. We can dump nice dirt in it and manure it, and whatever we want to do, whatever care we give to it, it's more precise to the local area. And you're not going to step in it, so you have your pathways between, your step always there. That's where you compress the dirt, but not in the raised beds. So we figured that works for us way better to have this defined area where we plant. So one of our key tricks out here in the field is to put hay down. So we work everything with hay. I know it's controversial because of the seeds. I don't know how that's going to turn out for us. I know straw or leaves, shredded leaves, is supposed to be the best, so we'll try to get that way. Some people will use wood chips, some people use cardboard underneath to put the weeds down. What we did is 2 years ago we tilled it all over with a hand tiller. Was it kind of hard? There were trees growing in there. There were like 3-foot high weeds growing there, but we just tilled it all under and we put hay over it, a thick layer, and that just did amazing because the dirt was already there. It was not good dirt. There were lots of rocks in it, but we tried to not bother about the rocks. Of course, by tilling that was a little bit the hard thing to deal with, because tiller jumps around all over, but it turned out that we can just put hay over it and don't have to till again. So a no-till version of a garden. So as you see here, one part of work in garden is to put our hay down. We got this hay bale really cheap because they are half rotten, old hay bales. No one want to have them. We just had to haul them here, and we have them and spread that hay. We put fairly a thick layer, so that's every spring and every fall we do that. Put a layer down, and like this it kills out pretty much the weeds. I'm sure if we would leave area without hay, it would give us quite bad weeds because all the seeds that are there, but we try to not do that. And so as long as we put the hay down, we don't have to weed, so it is more work in the start, but I consider putting hay down is quite fun, and weeding is quite hard, especially if the ground is hard. So we exchanged that task. So towards the end of this garden spot, we put celery in, and not the stick celery that you can buy at the store. We plant root celery. That's in some places available, but not so widespread. And we started them in February, and they grow all the year. I mean, we started them inside in February, and then they grow all year through outside, then all the way into the late fall, and then start of winter. That's when we're gonna start harvesting them. So we're excited to see how that goes. And you see all these onions already? That's just so exciting. Onions is one of the easiest thing and just amazing. As long as you keep the weeds down, they do really good. I love onions. I know we overdid it a little bit, but we just bought kind of too many and we just got them in the ground, and we're so excited to see them growing, and we see how many of those we can eat and what we can do with them. Okay, here further down in our garden area, that's where our potatoes are. We just planted them a few weeks ago, and we pulled the hay. We had just had a thin layer of hay on it, so we pulled the hay back, put the potato in, and it was luckily dry enough over that time, just a little bit wet. Normally in the springtime it gets too wet, so that makes it hard on the potatoes. They're a different thing that can give troubles, but that's one thing. And now I'm going along again, put more hay between, and I pulled a few weeds that came up where I made the hole for the potatoes, maybe some other places where some weeds come up, definitely not a lot as you can see. And now I'm gonna put hay around the potato too and pack them in. We'll go later on again through when they're bigger and put more hay around it to try to have the potatoes, produce the potatoes in the hay and not in the ground, because our ground has lots of rocks and is not really good. So here you can see how it looked before I put hay more down and how it looks now afterwards. There's still some small plants and I couldn't put too much hay around it. I will go that in a second turn, going along and put enough hay there. Also here we show you an example how it looks if you not put enough hay down over your winter or early spring. So the weeds came up and it's a lot of work to get that all weeded, to put hay over it, that we have to do a little later. I don't have time right now. So that's a kind of the bad side if you not have enough hay there. On the other hand, here we have our tomato area. That's where we put enough hay down. There's no weeds so far coming up, and that's exciting. Of course, we have to dig down between the hay to plant our plants in there, and sometimes remove quite a bit of hay to plant and put it later back as soon as the plants reach a certain height. I'm so excited for these potatoes. Look how great they look already. And I never grown potatoes before, but they do great. And I'm excited about that. We don't have any problems yet with potato bugs, and I hope it stays like that. This spot is first time potato growing, so we never had potatoes anywhere close by. So we hope the bugs stay away for that reason. Okay, this year I try to have 16 different tomato varieties. I will list you then up later on, showing as soon they ripen what kind of tomatoes they perfectly are and what do good and what doesn't do good and how they taste and how they look. We'll go through that separate, but I'm just excited about tomatoes. Tomatoes is something really special in the garden. They grow like crazy, they produce easy, and they smell amazing. So we try here to keep them kind of sorted, that we have always two same ones together as we go through that area, or more. We have the first area is always just two same ones, and for the back area here is the ones that we have maybe 6 plants or 4 plants per kind. So these ones are the ones we want to use for canning. The other ones on the front are more the special ones that we want to maybe have for eating or testing out. Every year it's a little different which one's going to do good and which one's not going to do good. So we try to have a variety. I can't wait for these things to come up. So that's our first preparation we did in our garden. We worked through and put some hay down and plant some things. I know we're still quite early for that time we're planting them here, but I hope it's not gonna come frost and not kill it all. Whatever, we're so excited about all these tomatoes already in the ground, the potatoes coming up, and the lettuce that we soon gonna eat. And we'll show you in the next video what we are going to do more in our garden. We are planning lots of things, we plan to fill the garden up. So stay with us and see what we're gonna do.